This literally was the worst game ever in Alabama history. Worst loss ever, easily. I dare anybody to find a worse loss than this. A team that you have beaten, what, 20, how many times? 20 sometime. They've never beat a number one team, and now they're 1-60. And you the one that lost them. Well, anyway, let me get into it. Of course, Vanderbilt played Alabama. Alabama had a big win last week versus Georgia. So that's kind of why I want to start it. Hold on. So Alabama played Georgia last week. I went to the game. Kalen DeBoer, he said something after that game, which it wasn't nothing wrong with it, but it just had me thinking. He was like, man, we really going to celebrate this game. I believe in celebrating games, and which that's cool, celebrate the games. But one thing I knew about Nick didn't let you just harp on the previous game. He was like, okay, let's enjoy that game, but then we're on to the next. Because we got to get to the next game. We can't just be stuck in the past. And this one thing, this is the SEC. Kalen DeBoer will have to learn. In the SEC, week to week, you can lose if you don't show up with your A game, like today. And like I said, I put a lot of this loss on Kalen DeBoer. I probably would put, because like I say, you're going to get a lot of credit when they win, so you got to take the blame when you can't take all the good and none of the bad. So Kalen DeBoer, I would give him probably maybe 70% of this loss, maybe 70%. But anyways, so like I said, the biggest thing I see in this game, I don't even feel like going through and breaking down all the play. I'm just going to freestyle off the top. But the biggest thing, I said it earlier this season, the defense, the rush defense. With this game, it was just the defense, period. The defense, like I said, man, you got to get stops, man. You got to take at least one thing away. You got to at least take the passing away or take the rushing away. You got to do one of them. You can't allow them to do both. This not even, your roster compared to this roster is not even fair. You literally gave up 252 yards passing and 166 yards rushing. 400-some yards of total offense this game to Vanderbilt. And don't get me wrong, I actually like Vanderbilt quarterback, but he shouldn't have did that. Even with the game starting the way it did, with them going to score and then coming back down, Alabama, Miro, he threw the ball, I think, to Ryan Williams. It bounces off his helmet. One of them fluky interceptions that was a pick six. 14-0. Oh, early. I wasn't even panicking. I was just like, okay, that was a fluke. It was early. Let's get it together. But then, like I said, man, that defense, that Kalen got to sit that defense down. The defensive coach, y'all got to figure out something. What is going to be the defensive scheme? Because they was trying to play a lot of man, which of course, y'all have a lot of talent, a lot of young corners. But man, when you're playing man, and then you have the quarterback who can move, he can create, they really killed them doing the simple plays, rolling out to the left, rolling out to the right, rolling out to the short side of the field. And then, like I said, keep rolling till a guy comes open. Missed tackles. I don't know how many missed tackles I've seen in this game. But, like I said, man, horrible loss. The defense got to get it together. Y'all look horrible. When I'm talking about bad, it's been times Alabama have gave up 40 points, but it was versus Deshaun Watson. It was a versus Johnny Football. It was versus all-time great, like far as college, not just, period, but all-time great in that field. But like I say, one of the main keys they lost this game, time of possession, TOP. Time of possession, Alabama had the ball 17 minutes. Vandy had it 41 minutes. That tells you all you need to right there. And even with Alabama offense just being on the field 17 minutes of game, playtime, they scored 35 points. Even with the 2 turnovers. But like I say, that time possession, I think one of the biggest reasons they lost. Also, the fumble Miro had. Now the interception, it was fluky. I really ain't count that one against him, but that fumble, Jalen gotta feel that pressure coming from that right side. I think it was Pritchard over there, and yes, he got beat, but the guy was. You gotta feel that pressure. You just got to. And Jalen, like I said, I love Jalen. He's improved a lot, but Jalen still makes some mistakes that you like. Now, what was that? Like the one he threw the ball when he was over the line of scrimmage. You can't make that mistake, Jalen. You can't. You roll out. I wish he would have just ran and then he would have got the first down. But you run, step over the line of scrimmage, throw a pass, but it's a 4th down because you're over the line of scrimmage. You can't do that. And then, like I said, with the fumble, he fumbles the ball. And like I said, you can be like, man, the guy, he got beat over there. But, man, you got to feel that pressure. You're in the SEC. You got to have that clock in your head. And like I said, man, the defense, and yes, I'm back and forth. I'm here to do. But, man, the defense, first of all, y'all didn't get no turnovers this game. None. I really feel like they was on such a high last week. They really should have learned from last week because you won against Georgia, but the win wasn't clean. You won the game, but you kind of escaped, if y'all get what I'm saying, because you was up 28-0. You led Georgia, came back, took a lead, was 35-34. You end up winning. Nah, it was 34-33. You end up winning 41-34 or something. You should have learned right then. You like, you know what? Let's not play around. But really, this game, it really just made me feel like, man, that Kalen DeBoer got to realize in the SEC, this is not Washington. You're not playing them teams Washington was playing. Y'all played Oregon 2 times and you probably got pumped up then. In the SEC, week to week, you got to be on your A game. Or you can lose. We seen Ole Miss last week with Kentucky. We seen Kentucky when they played Georgia, and Georgia won by 1 point. Before I started this video, Arkansas, I think they was playing Tennessee. It was 7-3 last time I checked. You got to be on your A game. You can't. That's the reason I mentioned celebrating the previous game, because man, look. Good we beat Georgia. But Alabama fans, we know we don't care nothing about no regular season win. We care about a trophy. We care about winning at the end. That's the reason I'm upset. I'm mad about this loss, but I'm not going to let it get me too flustered, because I've seen most of the time Alabama have won the championship. They've had 1 loss. Now, the loss just wasn't this bad, but most of the time they've had 1 loss that you look back on the season and you hope that you take this loss and you be like, it's a learning curve. You should have really, like I said, to lose the Vanderbilt, it's just, man, oh, Lord. But that's why I'm not on social media or nothing. I don't even want to see it. But Alabama, like I say, man, the defense, you got to get better. The corners got to get better. You got to, Kalen DeBoer may have to mix with a defensive coach. I can't think of the guy's name right. He may have to mix. You got to mix in some zone coverages. Yes, I know you have some talent in the corners, and you want to play man coverage. You want to press you want to blitz. You want to send guys off the edges. Just like this game, I felt like he was being kind of stuck in his ways, because the beginning of the game, you don't have no QB spot. You know the guy can move, but you're like, you know what? We're going to play man coverage. We're going to let the safety sometime come down, try to tackle the guy, and he's busting out 6 yards there, 7 yards there. You see you're not getting no pressure with 4 men down. You got to switch on the fly. And like I say, even after halftime, the adjustments on the defensive side didn't really seem like it did much. They couldn't get off the field. when you allow a team on the field 41 minutes and the offense is on 17 minutes, it's perfect because Alabama's a high-power offense. Anybody would tell you want to keep a high-power offense on the sidelines. You don't want them on the field. But like I said, man, defense play horrible, garbage. If I was the coaches, I would walk in there and be like, all y'all trash, all y'all horrible. Until y'all prove me wrong, do something. Offense came to play but made two big mistakes. Like I said, the first one fluky, the second one that's on Jalen. But to tell the truth, I can't even though I feel like that fumble, I feel like Alabama would have ended up winning. But like if they didn't fumble right there, but it's just no telling because they could have scored and Vandy come back down. I think they did score, but like I said, you just never know. So we don't want to talk about what else. Like I said, then Bama, one thing, like I said, the keys to moving forward for Bama, they need to do. Bama, they need to learn to stop the run. If you can't stop the run, man. Matter of fact, they need to stop the run and then run the ball more consistently. Kalen the boy which I know he likes to pass the ball, but you have to see when Georgia got back in that game, it's because when you're passing the ball, it's not burning the clock as much, and then it's getting the offensive line. Anybody who would tell you blocking on the offensive line is different from pass blocking and run blocking. When you're run blocking, you're imposing your will on the team. That's what Alabama used to do. And I ain't saying they got to go back to running the ball 30, 40 times a game, but what the guy named Miller, he ran the ball 5 times this game, 5 attempts, and had 45 yards, average 9 yards a carry. That's telling you, let him run the ball some more. He had 2 touchdowns and 5 carries. And I think Haynes had maybe three. I can't remember exactly how many Haynes had, but it's just showing you, like, man, you can't. One thing, you can't depend on Ryan Williams just to be Superman every week, and he almost did it this week. The throw that Miro hit him on the left side, like I said, that's just him being better than everybody else. But you can't depend on that every week. You gotta come in the game and you gotta play your assignment. You gotta pay attention. Like Nick would always say, you have to pay attention. Do your job. Like I seen a lot of plays, guys out of position. I say when Vandy was on offense, I seen one time linebacker, he's coming down. It was like a pitch. He's coming down. Matter of fact, it was like a speed pitch. So the quarterback's running with the ball, the linebacker's coming down. Him and the outside linebacker, they're confused. You see that they kind of got mixed up, and end up the guy got a first down. You have to do your job. You have to be on the same page. Any great team or a team that wins a championship is on the same page. And like I said, this is not to kill Alabama because Alabama is still a good team. But are you a great team? Because a great team plays consistently. A great team doesn't have lapses like this. Like I said, I've seen 2 games this year. The USF game and then this Vandy game. It's a key between both of them. Both quarterbacks could move some, and then both teams could run the ball pretty good. And like I said, that's what that run defense, I seen it earlier. I'm like, that run defense is going to have to get better. But, again, Alabama going to have to do their job. They're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to run the ball, and they're going to have to stop the run and get the running backs involved. And then, like I say, because the rest of the season, we got, this really getting into the SEC schedule. That's why it's bad to have this loss because, like I said, you can't erase no loss. But if you win a championship, then Alabama fan, we're going to be like, oh, who cares? But next game, You have South Carolina, which I know a lot of folks gonna say, just like Vanderbilt, they gonna be like, oh, South Carolina not good. I'm telling you, in the SEC, week to week, you do not know what a team will do. We seen it. We seen Kentucky defense play Georgia to the wire. We seen just that week before South Carolina blew out Kentucky. I bet the Georgia players thinking Kentucky was coming in there to lay down. But when you're Georgia and you're Alabama, you're getting everybody A game every week. Everybody wants to be the team to beat you. Everybody. But anyways, we got South Carolina. After that, we have Tennessee. And after that, Missouri, LSU, Mercer, Oklahoma, and then Auburn. It's a lot. All them games are winnable. But if you play like this, you will lose. It's just that simple. If Alabama don't, that's really any team. But we're talking about Alabama right now, and it's only a couple of teams that I really think can win the championship. But when you don't show up with your A game, you can lose, and you will lose. And like I said, you can't make excuses for them because, like I said, I didn't even mention that the refs. It was a lot of bad calls tonight, but you can't blame that because you shouldn't even be in a position that it's 40. You lose 40-35 to Vanderbilt. You shouldn't be in that position. I'm talking about, man, you gonna have to, like I said, man, this team, they gonna have to look themselves in the mirror and say, like, well, who are we? Because I seen tonight that offense, even with the way the team was looking, the offense still came out and played. In 17 minutes, they scored 35 points with no turnovers. Without the defense getting no turnovers. So they scored them points. And the Vandy offense got the 2 turnovers, and they lost by 7. So it's just showing you the minute details that you can't make mistakes. And like I said, if you don't show up with your A game, you can be beat. But, and like I say, I think, excuse me, tired. But I think if Alabama would have showed up with their B game, they would have won this game. But they showed up tonight with the offense played probably a B, defense played a F. What's below a F? Lord, I wish I was one of those coaches. I would cuss everybody out on that defense. They would get tired of me. I would be cussing them out the next day. I would be calling them. I better not even see them smile at school for the whole week. I'm like, what? You ain't in practice? The way you can't tackle? The way you keep missing tackles? Man, boy, if you don't get into practice, y'all need to be in strength training. You need to be, man. Anyways, like I said, man, we got to get it together. Because this just, I'm talking about you're a 24.5 point favorite. And you lose to Vanderbilt. And then, like I said, Ryan Williams, he has 82 yards. Matter of fact, that's another thing I want to bring up. Ryan Williams, he had 6 targets, I think, if I'm not, 6 targets and 3 catches, if I'm remembering correctly. But one thing, the offense, I want Kalen DeBoer to find a way to get him involved in the offense more. Because, yes, 6 targets is good, but I feel like he's not involved in the offense to the extent he should be. I love that he's catching these deep passes, but let's get him involved in the 10-yard routes. To tell the truth, I feel like he should easily be getting 8 targets a game. I'm not saying that they just gotta force him the ball, but the guy's so talented. Like, when you give him opportunities, he does something special. We've seen it week to week. And like I said, man, but before I get out here, like I said, man, matter of fact, before I get out here, Georgia beat Auburn. I seen the first half, it was close. And then I seen, I think they ended up winning 31-12 or somewhere around there. But like I said, I figured they was going to win. Cause I figured they was gonna win because it went in Jordan Hare. You know, Jordan Hare, that's where all the magic happens. But anyway, before I get out here, man, roll tide, Bama, y'all, hey, on prepare yourself this week. Prepare yourself going to work. Prepare yourself going everywhere. If people know you're an Alabama fan, they finna talk this week. They going to. We already know it. But me, like I said, I'm the type, hold the team accountable. We lost. As simple as that. But let's bounce back. And then, like I always say to people, it's not about the loss. It's about how you bounce back from the loss. Is you gonna just go in a tailspin and then lose 3-4 games and then still be living off the Georgia win in Tuscaloosa? Or is you gonna go to be a great team? Hey, we'll have to see. But that's all I got to say, guys. Roll Tide, Mizzy out, and hey, like I say, gonna be a rough week, but hey, Tide roll.